Welcome to the Trillverse, to all my MCs and to all my main characters out there. Even though today is Mental Health Awareness Month, every single day you have a gift, you have an opportunity. You get to experience this life, to breathe, taste, smell, and feel each and every single day. Starting with gratitude, being grateful for the quality experiences that are around you, the people that are around you, the hardship that you face, the challenges that you must overcome to become the man or woman that you've always been destined to be. This is to bring awareness to how far you've come. Bring awareness to how far I've come and how it can shape you and mold you into a better person. You guys don't know my story all the way. I used to be a 230-pound slob. I used to be a past overthinker, depressed, sad. I used to lust over everything. I had insecurity. And this may resonate with some of you out there too, because you may be dealing with some of these issues now. Well, here's the one thing I will tell you. Once you solve these issues or confrontations in your life, there will be more challenges that will be presented as opportunity. Because opportunity is everywhere. It just depends on your perception and for your perspective. So how did I change? How did I go from a retired lazy person, a retired obese man, to the man that I am today, that is speaking on cameras, that is speaking and giving you guys insight and wisdom of what I experienced? Well, first things first, the first thing I did was I got up off my ass and I tried. Most of the time, we do not get up off of our ass and actually try to do things, because the act of trying, you're not deciding to be something. I had to decide that I wanted a different life. I had to decide and aggressively break the patterns that I had already unconsciously built. Scrolling on TikTok, going on illegal websites, doing things that did not serve me in any way, chasing satisfaction and gratification from people who never cared about me, being insecure about myself and looking towards drugs or things that are not from me for validation. And how I broke that cycle, how I broke that pattern, was through constant resistance. There will be resistance. There will be a mountain that you climb. But the perception of looking down and putting one step in front of the other and being grateful that you are able to keep walking changes the perspective of hardship, changes the perspective of a mountain or hardship or something that you have to face to something that you can experience. So shift your mind, shift your perspective, shift your being. Because the things that you tell yourself, the excuses that you use, the constant saying and phrasings, the phrases that you use continually is what's shaping your mind, is what's shaping your life, is what's shaping your reality. If you want change, if you want to inspire, if you want to grow, if you want a life that is great or generational for your family, you must start with yourself. The way you speak to yourself, the way you think, the way you breathe, the way you are grateful, how you experience things. Even when it comes to speaking your mind. How is your self-talk? Ask yourself these questions. When you go and you make a mistake, what is the first thing you say? Do you tell yourself you're a piece of shit? Do you tell yourself that it's okay? How do you deal with yourself? And if you don't have self-talk, it's okay, because I am going to teach you guys. This is why the affirmations and declarations is promoted so much, is because people have fallen away from treating themselves properly and handling themselves delicately. It's nothing wrong with being sensitive. It's nothing wrong with feeling your emotions. It's nothing wrong with being a man and accepting challenges. But do not solely depend on one outlet. Don't solely depend on work or busyness to overcrowd your feelings and your emotions. I'm not here to sell a message. I'm not here to sell anything. What I am here is to teach you how to handle yourself. So when you wake up in the morning, you look in the mirror, be appreciative of who you are. Say, I am great. Speak to however you want it to be spoken to, the best way possible. And if you can't even imagine to say one positive thing to yourself, then here's 3 things that you can tell yourself that may change your life if you say it consistently, daily, hourly, whatever it takes to reprogram your self-talk. First things first is I love you. And if no one has ever told you I love you, then I love you even more. When you look in the mirror and you say this to yourself, this reframes your self-talk. It reframes the way you perceive yourself because you're constantly critiquing yourself, constantly judging, constantly putting yourself in a box or in a right or wrong area when you're human. You're making mistakes, you're growing, you're trying to figure out life. And I'm still in that stage. All of us are. Whether you're 40 years old, you're 25, you're 18, 19, 20, no matter where you're at, you're still figuring out life. Whether you master a skill or you bought a house or you don't have anything, you're still figuring out how to maneuver, figuring out how to accept what is being put in front of you or change and respond your environment. So telling yourself that you love yourself, I love me, it gives you a sense of clarity and wholeness because now you enter into the stage of oneness. The second thing that you can tell yourself that will reframe your self-talk, I am more than enough. You telling yourself that you are more than enough daily when you go to sleep or when you wake up, this tells you and gets you out of the frame of I'm not doing enough or there's always work to be done, or it puts you out of the state of lack. Because I am more than enough is coming from abundance. It's coming from self. It's coming from knowing who you are and being able to embrace that in every single area of your life. Now, the third thing that I can tell each and every single one of you guys to take home that I specifically say is I am blessed and highly favored. Why is this so important to say I am blessed and highly favored? Why did I save this for the last? Because you saying that you are blessed and highly favored attracts that reality. It attracts who you want to be in the future. It tells your mind that you are this. Not you're trying, not you want to be, but you are this. You being this person, you being who is blessed, you being a person who's favored. A person who's blessed is a person that doesn't try, they decide. They don't let life happen to them, life giving itself to them. When you're highly favored, doors open up. Opportunity is the only thing you see. So you saying I am blessed and highly favored, that couples with who you want to be, who you try to be, and who you always wanted to accomplish, those goals you want to accomplish, direction of your life that you want to go in. So this is how you can transform your self-talk from scrolling on Instagram to achieving great feats by changing the way you speak to yourself, changing how you respond to reactions or people who are trying to get reactions out of you, and reframing that mind state. I picked these things up after journaling. I picked these things up from going backwards and forth of writing down my thoughts and feelings and looking at it at face value. And it is okay to feel. It is okay to be who you are. And sometimes you must take rest days because as men or as women, whoever I'm speaking to, you need to get an understanding of how to treat yourself. Because if you don't treat yourself in the best way you can possibly know, then you are doing yourself a disservice. Because if you don't treat yourself properly, you won't be able to be at 100% and run a business. If you don't treat yourself properly, you won't be able to give the life your family have always wanted. If you don't treat yourself properly and give yourself rest days, then you will always be tired. Then you will always be in a state of exhaustion. And as a man who's experienced hardship, who's experienced my back at being against the wall, with all of the sadness and things that I've been through, I can relate to people who are in those same predicaments. So with self-talk, you transition into a life of abundance. You transition into a land of opportunity. You transition into being a person that operates off of willingness, off of determination, off of discipline, off of care, off of all these positive emotions, and you get to give people insight. You get to mentor. You get to be in a position that you've always wanted to be in. And you may not even know that you wanted to be a mentor or be an advice giver or be a listener. Because the life that you paint yourself out is being a person who's successful, being a business owner, being a person who can help my family out. Those are leadership qualities. To help people or to serve people in a business, you have to be able to be a leader. You have to be able to teach. You have to be able to do all of these different operations and systems. So I can sympathize with the people who are overthinkers, who are depressed, or who has emotional baggage that is hard for them to release because we got so accustomed to experiencing it that when we try to get out of it, it becomes uncomfortable. But in being uncomfortable, you find yourself. What you feel when you are being uncomfortable and you have to separate yourself from that emotional baggage, separate yourself from that person, is because you're leaving your old self, your old habits, your patterns, the person that you used to be. So that is why it is so important to have self-talk, have a outlet, or speak to yourself in a manner that is positively. Because if you can't speak to yourself positively, how do you expect other people to treat you that way? You expect others to give you love, to give you respect, to treat you in the best way, but you don't do that to yourself. You treat others with the utmost respect. You treat others how you want to be treated, but you don't even treat yourself how you want to be treated. And when you start to talk to yourself positively, then you achieve so much more. Thank y'all for coming to this video. This video is for you. Welcome to the Trillverse. Subscribe.